Hi class, this video is to watch before you do your Delta Math assignment entitled 1.3 No Solution versus Infinite Solutions Practice. Okay, so I'm going to just give you an example of some of the types of problems that you're going to see before you do this assignment. And your job is to get 10 problems correct. And it doesn't matter how many tries you need as long as you get 10 correct. So there's no penalty if you get something wrong. The Delta Math software will kind of show you step by step what went wrong if you have a problem. Okay, so let me take an example. So let's say I have -7 times the quantity -4x minus 2. And let's say that is equal to 28x plus 14. And the problem is asking you to solve. Okay, so solve means find what x is equal to. So we know that the first thing we need to do is distribute if we see parentheses. So I'm going to multiply the -7 to the -4 and the -7 to the -2. -7 times -4x is positive 28x. -7 times -2 is positive 14. Now that's going to equal, on the other side, there's nothing to distribute, so 28x plus 14. And then after we distribute, we want to make sure we combine like terms on either side of the equation. And it looks like the terms are already combined, right? 28x doesn't have any friends on this side of the equation, and neither does 14. So it looks like we're good. At this point, what we want to do is get variables on one side and constant terms on the other. So it doesn't really matter what side you want to put the x on. I usually like to put it on the left. So I'm going to subtract 28x from both sides. Remember, we have to do the same operation to both sides of the equation because equations have to be balanced. Okay, so if I do that, something very interesting happens. 28x and -28x add to 0, so they essentially cancel, and I'm just left with a 14. This is going to be equal to 28x minus 28x also cancels. I'm just left with the 14. So what I'm left with is something interesting. 14 equals 14. That is a true statement. And what that means is that when the problem is asking me to solve for x, that infinitely many solutions are possible, okay? Because basically I can put in any number I want for x, and x drops out of the equation, okay? So no matter what I put in for x, I could put 5 million over here, 5 million over here. It's gonna drop out and give me a true statement, 14 equals 14. So this is a type of problem where you would have infinite solutions, okay? So it's important when you're doing these to, on a piece of paper, write it down, carefully show your work. If the variables end up dropping out completely and you have a true statement, then you have infinite solutions, okay? Now let's take another example just so you're prepared for all scenarios, and that way you know what to do in case anything happens, because you never know what's going to happen in these practice problems, okay? And let's try another example. So let me make something up here. Let's do, 7 times -4x plus 1 equals -2 times the quantity 14x plus 1. And then I'm going to do a plus 21 on the side there. So can we see that? Let me just move that over. So take your time and copy this down. And then we're going to solve the equation using the steps that we've learned. So I'm going to distribute first. 7 times -4x is -28x. 7 times 1 is a positive 7. Okay. Then I'm going to distribute here on the right. So -2 times 14x is -28x. -2 times +1 is -2. And then don't forget about the plus 21. So before we can proceed, we really need to clean this up a little bit. We want to combine like terms if we need to. On the left, there are no like terms to combine, but on the right, there are. So remember, -2 is friends with 21. I can combine them together. That gives me positive 19. So on the right, I have -28x plus 19. And on the left, I have negative 28x plus 7. Okay, now, oops, sorry, I have to put the x here. I know a lot of you are thinking, wait a minute, you messed up. Good thing I caught that, right? Because on a video, it's hard to correct yourself. So again, I like to put the variable on the left. So I'm going to add a 28x to both sides. And the reason I'm adding positive 28 is because I have a negative here. So positive 28x on the right, positive 28x on the left. And what that gives me is something very interesting. Negative 28 and positive 28 add to 0, so they cancel, and I'm left with a 7 on the left. On the right, I have negative 28x plus positive 28x. They cancel. I'm left with a 19 on the right. And when you look at your answer, you realize that you have 7 equals 19, and that makes no sense. That's a false statement because 7 does not equal 19. In this particular case, you were asked to solve the equation, but even though you did all of the math correctly and did every single step correctly, you're getting something that doesn't make sense. So in this case, there's no possible solution. There's no way you're going to be able to solve this one, right? Because no matter what you do, even if you've done everything perfectly, you're getting a final answer that doesn't make sense. So no matter what value you try to put in for x is going to drop out and give you something that makes no sense. So this is a case of no solution. So I hope that helps. And you can pause the video and replay it anytime you want and do the Delta Math question. So good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.